The story of St. John Francis Regis.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Let me tell you a story about a man who walked into the hardest corners of society, not to judge or condemn, but to serve and heal. His name was John Francis Regis, a Catholic priest who lived in France in the 1600s, a time of deep poverty, plague, and broken systems. But he didn't wait for the world to change. He got up, walked out, and met people right where they were, especially the forgotten ones. John was born in 1597 in a small town called Foncouvert in southern France. His parents were devout Catholics, and they raised him with love and discipline. From a young age, John was drawn to prayer in the church, but he wasn't just pious, he was kind. He noticed the poor, the sick, the lonely. When he was old enough, he decided to join the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuits, a group of Catholic priests known for their discipline, education, and missionary work. Even as a student, John had one thing clear in his mind. He wanted to help people, not just preach to them, but lift them up, body and soul. After years of study and training, John was finally ordained a priest. And he had a choice. He could stay in cities, teaching or working with the church's elite. But he chose a different path. He asked to be sent to the rural, poverty-stricken parts of France. Places where the church was forgotten, where people were hungry, and crime was rampant. That's where he believed God wanted him. So he went. He walked from village to village, often in the dead of winter, in the rain, in the mud, just to bring people hope. He would hear confessions, preach, care for the sick, and help the poor. He didn't care how far he had to go or how tired he was. But what really made John stand out wasn't just his passion. It was who he chose to serve. He worked closely with orphans, the homeless, and especially women who had been forced into prostitution. You see, in that time, many women had no way to survive except by selling their bodies. Society judged them. The church often ignored them. But John saw them differently. He saw daughters of God. He helped many of these women find a way out. He set up safe homes for them. He taught them how to sew, so they could earn money with dignity. He connected them with honest work and made sure they were safe. Some people in power didn't like that. They thought he was stirring up trouble, helping the wrong kind of people. But John didn't stop. He once said, "The most abandoned souls are the ones Jesus loves most." John worked tirelessly. He slept very little, often ate just bread and water, and traveled constantly, just to be where he was needed most. He also battled plagues, hunger, and harsh winters. But what wore him down the most was the weight of people's pain. Still, he kept going. One winter night in 1640, at the age of just 43, John was summoned to a village far away to hear a sick man's confession. Despite being exhausted and ill himself, he made the journey through freezing cold and deep snow. He collapsed from fever not long after he arrived. On December 31st, John Francis Regis passed away. He died the way he lived, in service to others. After his death, word of John's work spread far and wide. People who had once been lost had found dignity and faith through him. The homes he founded for women continued to help people for years. His story inspired countless others to care for the poor, the forgotten, the judged. In 1737, nearly a century later, the Catholic Church declared him a saint, Saint John Francis Regis. But you don't have to be religious to learn something from his life. He showed us that one person, without wealth, fame, or power, can transform lives simply by showing up, listening, and loving without judgment. So, the next time you see someone struggling, remember John Francis Regis. He didn't ask if people deserved help. He simply gave it. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is care.